Welcome to RollFare, a D&D podcast. Thanks so much for listening and tuning in. We appreciate all of you. As always, we'll introduce ourselves. My name is Devin. I am the Dungeon Master.
I'm Ryan. I'm playing Alton, the Tiefling Warlock.
I'm Brad, playing Arden the Wizard.
I'm Kayla, playing Kaiji, the Tabaxi Swashbuckler.
I'm Austin, playing Sheru, the Turtle Cleric.
I'm Ben, playing Rain as a ranger.
I'm Sarah. I'm playing Asar, the Fire Genasi Sorcerer.
I'm Will. I'm playing Tristan, the Rogue Arcane Trickster.
Perfect. So, last time, the party still at the temple. They found some things, some new spells, some items, and Rainers had some visions of sorts. And they just finished a ceremony that sent this creature that they fought into wherever it came, and also laid to rest the dead that have been in this area. So we're going to pick up there with them having just finished the ceremony and preparing to head off in whatever direction they choose. At this point, time of day, probably around 3 o'clock.
So while Sheru is distracted, I want to write what I can remember with my quill, my magic quill.
Okay.
The cipher that I saw.
Do a knowledge check for me.
Okay.
And even if I'm distracted, do I have a chance to notice if he's being nefarious?
I'm just writing. There's nothing nefarious about
Is it
that.
a concentration spell?
Sorry, repeat that.
Do I notice him?
What's your passive insight?
Insight? 16.
Dang.
What's your sleight of hand check?
Wait, sleight of hand? Wait, what did you want me to do?
Do a sleight of hand to try and keep it from him.
You said knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge to remember.
Okay, what's
knowledge?
Yeah,
not
what's
really
knowledge?
knowledge.
Oh, sorry.
Get
That's-
intelligence check.
I'm sorry, that's a 3.5 thing.
3.5.
Yep.
Intelligence.
Do an intelligence check.
I was like, I don't see knowledge in there at all.
History check.
11 for
Okay.
intelligence. So
I would say you have a
courteous.
pretty hard time remembering.
Yeah, dang it.
And if you're trying to write it down without him noticing, go ahead and do a sleight of hand.
Yeah, of course.
Or deception.
Same thing. So 8. So
You notice.
I notice.
I think he has it pretty off. Like, I don't say anything.
Sounds good.
I'm putting the cipher in my own cipher.
Asar looks over his shoulder.
Double
Are you
cipher.
playing Sudoku?
You know the game. I love that game.
So Alton and I are on watch while he's doing the ceremony. Do we see
Look-
anything?
Hang on. Locamus comes over. What's Sudoku?
Okay, let me show you. Let's do a grid. Let's do it in the sand.
Wait, is this the one you play with little chips and you go diagonally?
You're doing a ritual. You be quiet.
Are we? Is this like the funeral?
Sudoku, isn't that some sort of like ritual suicide?
That's only if you have 9 people. Wait, how many are we?
You guys have 9 people.
Oh no! Let's not.
No, we got 10. We got 10.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about.
Because it was
Tristan.
Tempest and Shellcost and Kings.
Okay, well, 9 of us will die. Well, 9 of you will die.
So
But it's a fun game.
that you've played before.
Yes. of course.
So anyway, I'm interested in the bow that Sheru had.
Oh yes, it is magic.
Did you bring it with you? Did you leave it somewhere? Or is it sticking out of your back?
It's just sticking out of my bag.
I'm gonna sneak up behind him and just take it out of his bag.
Okay.
Do I need to sleight of hand that? Do you care?
If I notice, like, I suppose you can have it.
Just for kicks and giggles. Just is it a sleight of
Sleight
hand?
of hand, yeah.
And it's a 16.
He notices.
Dang.
Kaiji, or do you want it? That's bad. You can. I suppose you could have it. You could just ask.
I want to try that. Okay. So
Don't hurt yourself.
I know how to.
It could be cursed. I don't know. We know it's magic. That's all.
So
It's an ancient treasure in a ruin. It could be cursed.
It is magic.
That is cursed.
That's cursed, yeah. It is magic, so be careful.
So I'm gonna knock one of my arrows in this bow and shoot it opposite Sharu.
Okay. So you knock an arrow, you let it fly, and it feels wonderful. Fire. And it feels natural in your hand, and it feels powerful.
Excuse me.
I like this thing. I take my bow off and I slip this one over. Rainer, I understand that you are looking for a ranged weapon, yes?
I did pick up that longbow and surprisingly worked rather well on those little goblins, it seemed. I mean, I got all sorts of pockets and things. I could probably hold on to more things if I need to, but...
Well, just if you wanted to size down something that is a little more fit for travel.
Yeah, you do have a good point.
It's treated me well. I could train you in it. I mean, just, every bow has its quirks. If you wanted.
I would say maybe perhaps speak with Asar. She doesn't seem to have a lot of offensive output.
That's a very good point.
Asar hears this and her face just falls even further.
Actually, Asar...
Is the metal bow a long bow or a short bow?
It's a short bow.
Oh.
I will say on a side note though, she has been an absolute gem in the group. I don't know. She keeps pulling potions out of a little bag. It's helped me. It's helped Alton. It's helped
me in this last fight.
Those aren't cheap. I keep wondering where they come from.
She has a gnomish factory inside that bag. They just make the potions all day.
You figured me out. I am a slave master to gnomes.
Inside check.
Asar, I was wondering, this temple is the same as your god, right? The goddess?
That's right. That's totally right.
So, do you know anything about this? I see the picture on the wall of her with the bow. Do you know anything about that?
So even though Junabi, she looks around.
She was over here.
Tristan's just like, don't look at me.
Rainer's trying not to laugh.
She is the goddess of life and light, but a little known fact is that she also is a great huntress, and she goes around, and wherever she hunts the next season, there is more plenty.
Really? Well, that is interesting. I thought that was more of a gift to Chanfu, but all right, if she wants to claim that.
If that's true and we just killed a bunch of goblins and this beast thing, does that mean more are coming?
Well, probably not. It will probably mean that now that these baddies are gone, new life will come, and it will be good and plentiful and, restore this area.
So we just made the magic oasis happen?
Sure.
They're that powerful?
Stick
That's
around
amazing.
till spring.
All we have to do is kill goblins. This is
Well,
this is great.
Not us.
Let's kill more.
This is a sacred temple ground, so I don't think it's going to be everywhere.
Oh.
But, so, do you know what kind of things a bow of Janabi would have?
I will see what I can remember.
It feels like it has
Go ahead
more
and make a religion check.
power than my bow, but I'm just wondering what it does.
That's just so right. That is.
7.
You do not recall anything about a bow or what it could be as a magical artifact of sorts.
Can I make a religion check with that too?
Sure.
Asa
13.
is going to lie and say, well, because of the ceremony of my goddess, we hold bows in great esteem, and we like to shoot things to show our gratitude.
Interesting. So you
Go ahead and
worship
make a deception check.
you worship.
With
like-
disadvantage.
I'd like to insight that. For
I mean,
sure.
why disadvantage? It's not like I know.
I wouldn't.
That would just sound wrong. So Arden wants to insight check.
19.
Wow. With disadvantage?
Yeah.
Holy
Wow.
cow.
Alton totally
Insight.
believes you.
I believe everyone.
It's
I believe
passive.
it. No, it's passive. Dang it.
Yeah.
So,
I
wait,
think that
you
makes
have
sense.
even
The,
Fooled Shrew.
Yeah.
I never knew that of Junanabi.
I mean, it does make sense. You know, those arrows are like the beams of light from the sun.
Exactly,
Goddess of light.
exactly.
So you have like archery tournaments or something?
It's fallen out of favor in the last couple of centuries, so it's not very common. But the ancient text does show that, we had this at one point in time.
Your goddess may not be as bad as I thought she was. All right.
I like the shooting things as a good thing.
Yes, it brings bountiful blessings.
Oh, I just like shooting things.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, this is kind of
That tracks.
all wonderful and everything. We can shoot things as we head back to the oasis.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry,
Yes,
you're right.
that's- yeah.
I just got wrapped up in the moment. No, the other thing was my bow. She's done good work for me, and it's a nice bow and all. I'm not as attached to it as I am to per se my blade. Don't you touch my blade? I'll take off your face. But do you have a need for a bow? I don't know that anyone else necessarily uses one. I remember you had a crossbow that you were pretty good with, but just wondering.
I could try my hand at it. And so I take it. Oh, wow, this is much harder than I thought to pull back. Boink.
So you try and pull it back. It does just a very small arc. Doesn't really go anywhere.
You were very good.
As I am, because I am a cleric of Junabi.
I did forget about the draw strength. Maybe I should loosen it a tad and then give it back to you.
Don't feel bad about that, Asar. I'm nowhere even close on this crossbow that I have here, and I'm just gonna hip fire it 5 feet away, so it just barely skips across the ground. Sorry, I'm a terrible shot. I couldn't even hit the goblins with this thing. Maybe I'd have better use of that bow.
Do you use bows? Do you want it?
Theoretically, I could, yeah. I just don't have any arrows for it. I found a pack of bolts with this crossbow back at that camp outside the canyon.
Sure. I only have about a dozen arrows left, but we could split them.
Nah,
There's
you keep
probably
it. I
some
got
arrows
bolts.
lying around these goblins that were shooting at us before too.
We could try and scavenge some, I
I didn't
suppose.
pay attention to
You're
that when I
able
was
to-
searching them.
A few arrows. Easily enough.
It's just as well. You can keep the arrows for your new fancy bow. You're going to need ammunition for it. I've got plenty of bolts here for this crossbow. I'm better with this short sword anyways.
Oh, thank you. All right. Well, I guess I'll just.
Shove
I'll-
it back
I'll-
in,
I'll
shove it
hang-
in Shrew's backpack.
Yeah, I'll hang on to it until
I put
we
mine.
find someone. I'm sure I could sell it when we get back to the oasis or something.
Arden's just I have a backpack.
So, as you guys travel away from this place, I'm assuming you're leaving, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Okay, so you guys travel away. You head back down through the canyon. You pass the camp that you previously had fought at, and you continue onward. It falls nightfall. You don't make it back to the main road at this point, and you guys set up camp. We'll say that the watches, go well. Nothing crazy happens during the night. Wake up the next day and continue going forward. You also have the beetles with you at this point, so
Oh
Long rest, too.
yep, you guys got a long rest.
I'll probably have finished writing that letter by now too.
I forgot to mention one thing that happened in that night. I apologize. So Going back to that first night where you guys are resting there. While you are on watch, Alton, you're sitting there and thinking about the experiences of the last few days, the experiences of your new powers. You notice in your bag as you are about to head back to sleep after your watch, you notice a dark book, just solid black, and written on the front is just an infernal glyph. Just coming from the nature of your people, you've been taught infernal by nature, and it's a simple glyph language, but at least the pieces that you use it for. And as you open the first page, I guess I should ask this: you notice the book. What's your kind of your first reaction?
I think I would just immediately grab it and take a look. I wouldn't think to, be worried about it since it's in my bag, but I'm not the smartest.
So the glyph on there, you are able to read, says a gift. And as you open the first page, you see written there in a fine hand, these glyph words that says, "Well, my young pupil, I felt it was time to give you a little bit more power. Here's a gift for you. I hope you find its use convenient and useful." And preceding pages just are indications of different spells, all written in infernal, and essentially usable by you only.
Cool. I'm gonna just page through those spells then, and probably not make doing the best watch, but
Speaking of
ready
watch,
for that.
I did want to take watch with Alton because I had some things I wanted to discuss with him.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was thinking.
You probably noticed it, but I'll go ahead and put the book back in my bag.
Okay. If I notice the glyph, I can also.
I don't know.
read
It's
Infernal.
black and it's dark. Maybe you don't see it.
Maybe I don't. I can also read Infernal. Alton, I had some things I wanted to ask you and talk to you about. I was considering the things that you were talking about the other night, about the way your powers come from, and I was writing in my journal, and it kind of just clicked to me. If you were a cleric, the only way that would be possible, I believe, is if you were a cleric of, what's his name, the god of trickery.
Uyongwo.
Yuongo. He's the god of trickery, and he would maybe have a cleric that didn't know who he was, but that to me is a small possibility. I believe you might be a warlock, and oftentimes warlocks have beings of power that grant them power, and that granted power is never free. This being that you've talked to, have you made any promises to him?
No, he helped me out of a tough situation, but he's asked for a favor. Don't know if I would say I've made any promises,
Okay.
but
I mean,
I also don't know if he's someone I'd cross. I honestly don't know anything about him. Could be Uongwo though. That sounds, if he's the god of trickery, sounds like it could be.
So, go ahead and make a religion check for me, real quick.
This is gonna be bad.
I got a 17.
Okay.
Oh, for him or me?
I was going to have it be for him.
Okay, good.
So, just nature of Uyongwo, most people don't know about him. He's known, if he's mentioned in a derogatory way more often than not. And you know his name. You don't know much about him. And you do know that he is the god of trickery, but you also know that the gods have they don't have really much relation with him at this point. He's not really part of the pantheon. He was at one point, but they don't associate with each other anymore, and so there's really only seven gods essentially in this pantheon, covering the range of the domains, excluding trickery.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know much about him either, but perhaps, but from my understanding, from the stories I've read, that warlocks are often depicted as evil beings. But there's also been times where beings with power that are benign grant their I guess pupils, I don't know, power to do good. And you seem like an alright person. I have no qualm with you, and you seem like you have good intentions. So, well, I think it's important to learn what your patron wants from you.
Well, I'm still not convinced it's not a god, just from what I've heard of the gods. They like to use people like us, mortals.
It is possible.
And also, I think, I've learned something similar to what Asar has shown, and I'll cast guidance on you. Because I can do that now.
That's quite nice.
But I don't know. Maybe it doesn't even matter.
It probably doesn't. In the end, you are you, and you make your choices. And so far, I trust you. I have no reason not to.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see. If I keep hoping that maybe he'll just forget about me and leave me to with my wife. But he seems to be helping me get stronger too. So that seems to be helping at this point. Can't say I haven't enjoyed that. And so if the price is worth it, then maybe I'll be willing to pay it.
We'll see. Well, if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm more than happy to be that person.
Yeah, just don't write about too much of this in your secret book.
So I do write in a cipher. I mean, Arden discovered that today. So I mean, it's fairly secret. I feel like it's a good cipher.
Well, if he discovered it today, then
it's because I showed him to it, because I trust my cipher and how I written it. I think it's fairly clever. But anyways, yes, I don't write things down if someone tells me not to. I like to write things down, and if they don't tell me not to, I will.
I think for now, keep this between us. I'm not sure if this patron or god is going to be something good for this group or something bad. And I'm just not sure if that's going to compromise my standing in the group.
Yeah, I will not write this one down just to be safe.
Okay, so you guys have that discussion in the night and continue on your way. You follow the Zumaji Road back to the northwest, and you have your exchanges with Tethys and all of them, and think on the week that has happened since you started your adventure. It's really been about By the time you guys get back to the Pumongo Oasis, it's been about it's been almost 2 weeks at this point since you started out.
Wow.
And you get back to the Pumongo Oasis, and Tethys looks towards the group and says, "Thank you for your assistance in saving us multiple times. We owe you a great debt. And what I can give is not what you have earned, but trust me in this, that I will repay that debt when a time comes when you need it." And he gives each of you 5 more gold. And he turns to you and he says, I understand that you maybe need to be heading to the north. Is that correct?
Yes, that is true, yes.
Well, I could use some additional guards on our way back to Kushako. Would you be willing to accompany me, and I could fund your travels further?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. I will look for some additional guards. I will not ask any more of you. It seems that just based on the experiences and the visions that have happened, you may have business elsewhere. But I hope our paths cross again. If you are looking for us, we will likely be heading south into southern Tuchawa. But thank you again. And Shelkosh, says similar things, and she leaves you her blessings and the blessings of Amanji. And Locamus just looks at you. You see some tears kind of coming down his face, and he just looks at each of you with gratitude. And in particular, he's grateful for the experience of having another tiefling to share the burden that he's experienced with. And they continue onward into the Pumongo Oasis to go and seek for guards. And they have you can accompany them, or you can stay with the party until they're ready to leave. He lets you know that they'll be leaving within a couple of days.
I'll be at the General Tavern. I have a few more items to attend with my friends here. I owe them a drink at least.
Very well. Well, come and see us when it's time to leave. We will be leaving within 2 days.
Sounds good. I'll be ready by then.
Thank you. So you guys are back in the Pumongo Oasis. You feel the joy of the ease of this area compared to the other places you've been so far. The ability to relax. What are you guys doing?
A couple of things that I was wanting to have conversations with along the trail on the way back, just in like the night watches, kind of take a watch with each one individually to kind of get to know them a little bit better and kind of tell them a little bit more about myself. Kaiji, with our watch, I would imagine that we share each other's backstories, and I would tell you a little bit more about the treasures of the sand and my role in them once we have a private audience between you and I. Essentially, I would tell you that with the treasures of the sand, we put on a show and a guise for basically the rich and powerful, the ones that owned the slaves. We put on a show for them to distract them, and then we sneak in and we free all their slaves behind their back. And that's a part of the uprising that I was trying to do inside that turquoise mine, was to learn the ins and the outs and the ways through the tunnels and such to free as many slaves as possible. And that the reason why I got caught is because I tried to go a little early and try and funnel some people out a little bit here at a time, and they noticed that some of the slaves were missing, so they started getting a little too inquisitive and caught me in the act on the second try there.
Well, even if the mission didn't go as planned. We're all very grateful to you. I don't know if anyone told you. This mine is special to us as a ship. It was Stoneclaw's mine. He let us know that before he sent us to come help you. It's one that we've wanted to infiltrate for a long time, and I feel like even if it feels like we took 2 steps forward and 1.5 back, that at least we're a little bit closer. I do ask, I know that you plan to go back to Kushako when we reach the oasis.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, if you happen to see anyone from my crew, especially Lilith, she used to be in the Treasures of the Sand. I know that if she survived, she would go back to Kushako. If you...
They'll actually head to a city to the north.
It's like Shosker.
Yeah,
Shosker.
That's Shasher's where I'm getting back to, so I most likely will run into her.
If you see her, would you please send me word? I want to know that someone is okay.
Most definitely. I'm not sure if I have the means of delivering that message magically or not. I've been kind of learning with Sharu over the days, and I've learned a few tricks here and there. But where should I send word if by messenger?
Well, I guess you can get word back to the ship so that they know by the time I get back. It is fairly close to the port. Or I don't know. I don't know if I'll run into any of the troops on the way. Honestly, I don't know where I'm going to be once we get back to the oasis. But I guess it's not as easy as I think it is, but I don't know, just...
I'll just send a general message out that says something along the lines of like "home is near," or something reassuring like that. So that way it's not obvious, but you'll understand the message that I made contact with someone.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
And then I'll put like an extra letter of like the first letter of their name or something, so you know who. And then I'll send one out here, and I'll pretty much dispatch a messenger to every known town wherever you might be. So.
Thank you. I'll try to keep in contact with the troops as well.
Sure. I hope our paths cross again.
Same.
In my watch with Sharu, I'd talk with him a little bit, learning magic and kind of playing as if I don't know Draconic, but I did pick that up in my time with the Treasures of the Sand. They taught me Draconic, even though it was kind of shunned. It's kind of a secret thing, so I'm trying not to show that I know it and just like, okay, this is A and B, kind of trying to play a little dumb there with it.
You're a quick learner.
I do have a keen memory, I've been told. Sure, I must confide in you something, and I don't necessarily want it to end up in that book of secrets.
Well, I had a similar talk with Alton the other day, and I don't write all my secrets here, but just the ones I have permission for.
Oh, I know. I've learned how to cast the hand of the mage, and I can actually make it invisible. I was able to sneak it out and use comprehend languages, and I read through your book in the middle of the night one time. Very interesting cipher you use. If you do write anything down, maybe just use that at least. I couldn't crack it in about 2 or 3 nights, so it's solid enough.
I'll have to tie it down somewhere. tie it up in a rope and tie it to my bag.
See why I hate this book so much.
This is why we don't really like secrets written down. Even though they're in a language that can always be determined. Given enough time, I'm sure someone can crack the cipher.
Well, enough time, probably.
I still prefer it not, but I trust you as a cleric and with your abilities and how you get along with the group there. I share the same kind of backstory with the Treasures of the Sand with you, and my backstory, my role with them.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that there's a hidden group doing the work that they do, because you hear lots of stories about slaves disappearing, and it always seemed like there was something in the background going on. It's nice to know that I know a few people there.
Well, if you ever come on hard times, drop my name. I'll vouch for you.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. And if you ever need help, don't worry. You can always call on me. I'm happy to help.
Thank you. In another one with Rainer, I'll check in with them and ask him about if he's had any more visions, and vouch to Kaiji's trustworthiness of Rainer, and again reveal my backstory, my arc there with him, and kind of my role. Kind of ask him what he has plans next. I heard there was a mother of some kids that you came out to search for, and we were unable to find her.
Yes, I need to head over to the Sheons, talk to Tondos, give him what news I can. That's essentially where I'm going to head now. I figure I can handle this one alone.
Well, if you need any help, if the kids need a home, I'm not sure who Tondoth is, or
He's their grandfather. He can take good care of them.
okay.
You can hold on to that short sword of yours. Mine
Thank you.
might, save you a little trouble down the road.
Well, I think you mentioned that Tondoth is a smith of sorts. I was thinking maybe I could buy a weapon off him and return the short sword to you.
No, I figured I could probably get a weapon off of him to replace my short sword if I needed to.
enough.
But no, I do appreciate it. I need to head over there and just check up on things.
Well, part of my program is not only just freeing the slaves, but rehabilitating them and helping them to get back into the workforce in a free community such as Shirkosh. We actually, when we free them, we transport them there where it's a free community and slavery is abolished, so that they can actually live a free life and get some aid and support. So if it ever does come of it with the kids, then we could always send them there, and they'd be taken care of and taught skills that they can use throughout the rest of their life and make an honest living.
Well, I do appreciate it all. I do think that the Sheons have a good community within the herd themselves. So, but if needs be, I will keep you in mind.
And then on another watch, you said it was take about a week or so to get back, so I figure one night with everyone.
It's so realistically, from where you guys are at, it's like 4 days.
Oh, okay.
It's been about 2 weeks since they've journeyed.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll pull Asar aside for one of the other watches for another night and kind of confide in her as well and tell her my backstory and whatnot. And quite honestly, Asar, I feel like I need to trust you with this because, well, you're with some good people. I've also told Sharu and Kaiji and Rainer. They're good people there. The other two, I'm not quite so sure about. I still got to talk with them. But I was really hoping that perhaps this wouldn't be the end of our relationship, not just with me and the group, but of seeing you again. You've kind of literally and figuratively given me a spark of fire of rebirth and purpose in life.
Well, I am a fire genasi.
That's partially why you're so hot, or just
Aren't you a charmer?
Tristan is just totally awestruck and just fumbling through some sort of attempt at flirting, and is just completely making an ass and a fool of himself. He kind of backtracks and regresses a bit and just says, well, you do have my eye and you do have my favor. If there's anything I can ever do for you, just let me know.
Oh, you're such a good friend. I am so glad that we can have this conversation and that I have your favor, and I will totally be able to reach out to you and we can continue this talk.
Yeah, that would be. I really do appreciate our friendship. It means the world to me.
That was perfect.
I'm gonna go back to bed now. I'm really tired. It's been a long day walking in the sand.
And we never see him again.
If I may, I have a couple of things that we wanted to go over before the session's over, but you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I don't know if Tristan's okay, but
Oh, I'm good.
Well, I've got one quick
couple-
thing with Tristan too. Though.
sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
right.
do just want to have just a brief conversation, maybe just in travel, not necessarily on a night
Sure.
watch, just getting to know Arden a little bit better and trying to learn a little bit of magic from him and kind of share and flamboyantly show off what I've learned from my lessons with Sharu. I pop little voices in your head with a little message, and if we ever come across something, I'll take out the short sword and I'll like strike a rock and cause a booming blade or something like that to do some concussive damage as well. But basically, I'll be like, so this comprehend languages thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got the knack of it down here. This is how I cast. I was curious how you cast it.
Can you read? It's in my book right here. How to do it?
I just kind of learn stuff. I don't really read
Okay.
scrolls or
To each their
spell
own.
writs. It's kind of just a knack that I
Yeah, let me
have.
watch you do it.
So do you want me to ritually cast it or just? Do you want me to show you my whole ritual with it, or just do it real quick? Or?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
I'll just do it real quick here for sake of time, and I would just encourage him to practice his magic, and learning more about the arcane ways can make you more stronger and more powerful, and it's a helpful skill to use. I'll try and get a gauge on him as far as like how he feels about slavery and such.
Is this during the day or during the night?
I would say this is during the day.
day.
Just like walking back with him at the back of the pack or something.
I am very much against the slavery. I wish it didn't exist, and there's someone I know very closely that helped me from that kind of life. So I very much don't want anybody else to be in that situation.
Ask Kaiji about me and my role when you have some time.
Yeah, I shall do that.
And then I'll save my conversation with Alton for the end when he...
Yeah, so when we get back to the Oasis before he leaves the party, or leaves with Tethys in the group, I'll pull you aside. Tristan, I asked you earlier if you could deliver a letter for me. I'd like you to give this to my sister. She's a dancer in the Treasures of the Sand.
What?
They've been traveling so much, it's been hard to really keep in touch with her. But if you're heading to Shoshkar and can find others, I'm hoping this letter can at least make its way to her eventually.
Sure. I'd be more than happy to deliver. What does your sister do in the Treasure of the Sand?
She's a dancer, just for the traveling carnival.
Do you know what the purpose of her dancing is?
To make the carnival money?
Fair enough.
to entertain the viewers?
So you know that
learns
that's exactly the purpose. She's part of the entertainment to
Like a belly dance.
distract the.
That's all I know of the Treasure of the
Well,
Sand.
yeah.
A turtle belly.
So
dance
you
with
actually
no
don't
belly.
know that she's there to distract. You just know that she is a dancer too.
Yeah, I just know she's a performer.
Okay. Well, I will certainly get the letter back to her.
All right. Well, I imagine you might be curious. I think what's in it you already know, so don't feel guilty if you read it. But I try not to let folks know she's my sister. It could put her in danger.
Yeah.
The letter, I expected it could, be lost or stolen. So I don't think it's too dangerous if for some reason you have to give it up or lose it somewhere. But try to get it to her if you can.
Oh, if it's all right with you, I'll memorize it as well.
Perfect.
I'm sure she'd love to see your handwriting, but
She's familiar with it.
chicken scratch, I assume.
I'm still getting the hang of reading and writing, but
I'll say you take a look at this letter, and it is so bad, so bad.
oh yeah,
Why
it is.
don't you walk me through this here?
misspelled.
He actually wrote it
I'll
out.
send,
It is so difficult to
yeah,
read.
Will, I'll send you the Google Doc, but yeah, it's so full of misspellings.
It's
It's
great.
painful.
Okay, I will deliver what makes it there.
So as you guys finish up your exchanges there with Tristan, you guys make it back to the Pomongo Oasis. I'll say that all of you are at the tavern when you have this conversation with Alton, and Raynor has taken on the task of going to see Tondoth this evening.
Yes, so I kind of sneak out while everyone is having drinks, head over there and just give a light knock on the door.
And so you see Zaylin come to the door. You see Jativ sitting at the table eating some food. It looks like they seem to be doing a little bit better. And Zaylin says, "Oh, Raynor, you're back. We were getting worried."
Yes, I am back. I do need to speak with Tondoth alone, if preferred, if possible.
Okay. Did you find Mom?
Still looking. I have not, as of yet, found her. But trust me, I'm keeping an eye out.
Okay. Thanks. And he leads you back to where Tondoth is, and he is just sitting on the bed, kind of almost moping. He seems really down. And Zaylin says, I'll just be out here if you need me.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll call if we need anything. You can go back and enjoy your meal. And I'll shut the door behind me as I go and just kind of sit down on the bed next to Tondoth and just kind of quietly, not really looking at him, but just kind of staring at the ground. So I've been everywhere that I know to look for her, the location that she may have been. There was a creature there in the area that, from what we learned, seemed to be devouring those any passerbys that the small horde would capture. I did not find any specific remains, so I guess there's always hope that she wasn't there, but I'm just not sure at this moment, and I am out of places to look. I wish I could have returned with better news than this. I wish I could have returned with an answer. You've helped me so many times in the past, and honestly, I feel like I've somehow let you down greatly, and for reasons out of my control, but I still feel like I've failed somehow, and I do apologize for that.
And he looks at you, and you see tears streaming down his face, and he chokes up. What sort of creature was it?
Large, definitely fiendish in nature. Something not of this plane for sure, but I made sure it was dead. Like I said, I don't know if this creature caused Vasa's death. I don't know if she is dead, but I made damn well sure that it wouldn't hurt another thing again.
That's good to hear. And you see that he's obviously distraught and stressed, and he looks at you and says, "What took so long?"
We had issues. There was problems with the mine down there. There were a number of things that I feel I could have done better if I could just have the chance to redo it, but sadly I don't live in that kind of a world.
Why did you go to the mine? You knew that Vatha was possibly in danger. I mean,
I needed help. And I needed to gain the trust of those that could help me so that we could find her, so we could find whatever was out there that may have attacked her and those that she was delivering supplies to. I hate to admit it, I've survived a lot, but I'm just not strong enough on my own for something like this. That's why I would usually take Vatha, take others of the herd whenever I would go out hunting. I've almost died a couple times over just out in this journey. And if it weren't for those around me, I wouldn't be back here at all to give you news. I do apologize. I do wish there was another way around it. And like I said, I feel like I have absolutely failed you in this family, and I don't know how more to apologize, but I saw no other way.
Okay, Rainer. And you see him, he looks frustrated, almost angry, and he says, "Okay, I can understand that. I can understand the need to have help, and we work in a dangerous, difficult situation, freeing these ungrateful people of the supernatural threats that they know nothing about. But we need to stick together. And I hear you saying you're sorry, but if you truly cared about us, you would have gone straight there. Not only that, but since you've been gone, and don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that you healed me, that you found the resources. But after everyone saw me in my condition, being paraded through the whole oasis, no one will come and do work. You get work from me. They've called me washed up, useless. They've gone to the Bashiabu smith instead to get their resources and their smithing done. And I have no way to feed my grandchildren. What food we have left in there, that's what we have. I have no means of income, no means of providing, and all this talent and skill that I have is worth little to these people now. And we will have to move on somewhere. But again, I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for your efforts. But we cannot be here for you anymore. We will move on, and I hope things go okay for you.
Raina stands up. Just pulls the money pouch off his belt, tosses it to the bed to the side of the bed. This will help you move on. Again, I'm sorry, and I wish I could do more. And I'll promise you I will do more in the future. And I walk out.
Okay, how much money do you leave?
I gave him everything.
How much is that?
That is 39 gold, 116 silver, and 214 copper.
Okay. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Oh, thanks for listening.
You have been listening to RollFare, a D&D podcast. Produced, recorded, and mixed by SF Shields. Executive produced by the RollFare team. Copyright 2021 by RollFare LLC. All rights reserved. Visit us online at rollfare.com.